Alright, I've walked back down to that first retaining wall we came to when I came up the trail. You know, back there where the coal mines. Back up there's where I came down from. Now we're going to go this way, towards the direction where the actual village was. But there's the coolest thing yet to see is up here. This right here is the railroad bed. Came in. Of course you can see it drops down pretty far on the other side. This up here is actually the railroad bed. It's just real narrow here because of erosion over, you know, like 100 years or so. More than 100 actually, but well, no, not more than 100. Yep, there's the bed. And this is the railroad bridge across Gold Mine Run. Here's another view of it looking down through. I'll try to give you a better perspective of how large it is in a minute here. Alright, so I'm going to walk down there so you can kind of see how big it is. These mushrooms are called, you know, birch polypore. You grow on these dead birch trees. And they're called polypore because they don't have gills underneath, just little pores. The spores come out of. So I've crossed over the stream and I'm up on top of the bridge here. There's looking at the other side. And you can see the old railroad bed there. But it's a long ways down there. There's going back this way, which is where we're going to head and take a side trail that goes down into the village. So I'm still walking along this old railroad bed here. Back there is where I came from, where that large bridge was. And just up here is the old trail that leads down to where the town was. Most likely the workers use this trail to get up to the railroad bed from the village. These little golden mushrooms are called golden fairy spindle. Some really small ones up here. I always think they're kind of cool. And here are some of the first ruins of the town. There was some sort of a house over here. But down by the creek, there was another bridge that went across the creek here. There were some houses over there too. We'll get to those later. But it's pretty rough around this section, so I gotta get out of here. Get to an easier spot. Yep. Up here's another house. Not much these days, just like kind of look like jumbles of rock, but these were houses at one time. They didn't really have much of a basement because it's so rocky up here. And someone else obviously comes up here. This was someone's front yard at one time. Back here was their house. Can kind of see a better spot right here. Preserved wall. You can dig around a little bit by these foundations and you find a lot of broken glass and pottery. Whoever lived here probably had a window right up here and just tossed stuff out the window. Here's another house foundation. Extends all the way back to there. Right next to this little spring here is probably where he got his water from. Should mention it, this place was only inhabited from about the 1820s to 1850s. It's about the time the coal ran out. And the old foundations just continue. Every now and then people find little relics, set them aside. Someone's probably metal detecting up here. Of course, this is all in state game lands. They don't really want you metal detecting, but that's not going to stop people. And the old foundations just continue. Every now and then people find little relics, set them aside. Someone's probably metal detecting up here. Of course, this is all in state game lands. They don't really want you metal detecting, but that's not going to stop people. And here's another home. There's a bigger one. Foundation goes all the way up and around, and there's even a middle section of foundation. And another one. There's a mound on the outside of this one here. This is where they would have thrown their coal ash from their stove and stuff and other trash. So if you had a mind to dig through here, you could potentially find some interesting things. This is another big house. Foundation goes all the way around. Oh, in the back there's also a middle section to this one too. Not much left, just stones. I'm sure if you dug in here, you could find things. Perhaps some money or something. That'd be cool. Some coins. Well, I did a little rooting around in here. All I found were some pieces of some old brick. These are old handmade bricks. Sometimes they call them pumpkin brick. Whenever you find these, you know you have an old place. Almost looks like a little hole in the foundation here. And here I found another one of my favorite mushrooms. Old Man of the Woods. I always like finding these. Kind of looks like a shaggy old man just sitting out here. If you have an imagination. Here's another more well-preserved section of foundation. Because all these have trees growing right up through them. Would have been neat to have seen what these places actually looked like when they were still here. And these pine tree looking things growing up by these foundations, this is called club moss. It's not actually a moss at all. They're more related to ferns than moss. But you can find, back in days past, these grew to the size of trees. You can find fossilized remains of them. Actually, when I'm looking for in my fossil hunting video I made earlier, you can see I point out some fossilized scale trees that I found. Lepidodendron, they're called. Sometimes these are called a Christmas tree moss because they almost look like little miniature Christmas trees. So I've been rushing around this little spring here. I found things here in the past, like buttons, and found an arrowhead in here already. But just in here a little bit, and I found some cool things. There's a piece of pottery. That's pretty cool. Section of an old bottle. Some other pieces of pottery, glassware. Got kind of a cool edge to it there. And I'm not sure what that is. But I'm gonna keep looking here for a little bit. See what else I can find. Well, I found one more piece of that cool looking pottery. But I've been sticking my hands underneath this little ledge here, and it goes way back. So I think this is all filled in. This might have been a trash pit back in the day. Stuff slowly eroded back into here, so who knows what's all under there. I'm gonna go up, check further, see if the spring pops out further up too. So I followed the spring up a little bit more. Still finding little treasures. A little piece of pottery. Here's a piece of older glass. Been cool to find a whole bottle. And find a lot of this old pumpkin brick too. So I'm gonna keep going up a little bit more, see if there's more goodies. Apparently this whole area is kind of like a trash pit. People dump stuff in here. Here's an assassin bug. You don't want that to bite you. Oh, here's the bridge. I showed you the last bridge I showed. This one takes you across town to the other side. And a deep pool of water here. Make a nice swimming hole actually. But I'm gonna head on over there shortly. Looky what I just found. Big old black rat snake. Ah, it's a nice one. Ain't he pretty? This sucker's pretty long. Alright, we'll let him go. I had to get just one more scene of him here, flicking his tongue at me. He doesn't like to be touched. Now he's moving along. These are some interesting plants. Oh, I forget their... I know one of their nicknames is bear corn. And another one's called ground pine because it looks like a pine cone coming out of the ground. There's another name for them. It slips my mind right now. The bear and deer do feed on these. There's like little... I don't know if you can see them. They're like little black kernels of corn. I guess they like... The plant's dead now, but earlier in the summer it would have been a much lighter brown color with like white flowers on it. So that's what these are. Well, done for the day and head back to the truck. So until next time, I'll see you later.